My name is Barb Goff, and I am drinking coffee. For those who know me, that they know what kind of joke that is, because I'm always drinking coffee. But I want to put this YouTube up to introduce you to a little bit of what's termed Christian inner healing, or Christian counseling. And I've been in Christian counseling for 9.5 years now, I think. I have ministered all over the world, and I work with a couple of primary large ministries around the United States, and have worked with many, many hundreds of people now. As they go away from me, they love the information, they love the prayer and the healing, but they're always asking for information to take with them, equipping or other techniques that they can take with them to keep them on track. So this is kind of what the goal is. I live here in Grand Haven, Michigan, which is a beautiful place to live. It's considered a resort area, and it's right here on Lake Michigan, and there's just a small community, 60,000 people or so, very quaint, very homey, and a lot of people come in to receive ministry here. The topic that I'm going to talk about today is what is a zing, and everyone that knows me knows that playful term that I use an awful lot. Zing is the funny term that I've coined for the emotional reaction that we have when we experience negative emotions. Everybody loves those positive emotions. We love peace, we love joy, silly, goofy, happy, joyful, merciful, compassionate. We're not quite so friendly with stress, strife, loss, lack, grief, fear, anger, resentment, even what we would consider character flaws, which is things like jealousy, envy, selfishness is considered a character flaw often. And these negative emotions, fear, anger, stress, strife, jealousy, insecurity, envy, selfishness, we would tend to think are not good aspects of our personality, so we would tend to try to divorce ourselves from them and just be good Christians. Unfortunately, these emotions are what's termed the autonomic system in our makeup, which is similar to breathing or blinking. You can try very, very hard to not have those negative emotions, but it's not a thing that you have control or say over. Contrary to popular belief, Satan is not the author of negative emotions. God designed negative emotions, and that's part of our equal and opposite extreme, our Geiger counter. Very often I exemplify it like this. We have these positive emotions on this side of our personality, and according to how well received they were in childhood, those will be very well developed. Our joy database that begins even in childhood, baby stages. This happy, silly, goofy, Tigger kind of personality. This carefree, naive, trusting, transparent type of personality. Or any of these positive emotions. According to how well developed these were in childhood, this database will be very, very available to us. We also have this equal and opposite extreme, and these would be the ones that I've already mentioned: anger, fear, stress, strife, hopelessness, any of these. And God wired us like this, equal and opposite extremes, so that we would have some kind of barometer or Geiger counter. Here we have our positive emotions, blessed. Here we have our negative emotions, not blessed. I've lost my peace. I'm feeling insecure. When we do experience these in relationships, what this flagging of our emotions would be called, in my terms, is called a zing. And I coined this off of a very simple gag gift that you see a lot at parties, which is called the party buzzer. Go to make an interaction, have a little personal relationship with somebody in the room, and they say, "Hey, hi, how are you?" Little did you know that coming into contact with me was going to cause you an extreme and immediate reaction. try hard not to have that reaction when that party buzzer hits your flesh, but I think you're not going to have much success with that. And this is the same thing that is my statement on our negative emotions. Even though church has told us to try to stay happy, try to stay forgiving, patient, and kind, very often we're not very successful at that. Precisely because these negative emotions are an autonomic response system. And we might think that we're kind of lousy Christians because we lose it with our kids, we're not so patient with our husband. But this has to do with this flag type thing that God set up within our hearts to be a benefit to us. What do we do with those flags, darn it? We want to be at peace with all men. We want to be kind and patient. And as much as we are able to do that in our own strength, with our own resolve, and just by biting our tongue and counting to 10, that's fine. When we are not able to control our emotional reactions better than that is when we really, really need the help of Jesus. So as we see these come up, and I guarantee you they will, if you're connected to your heart, you're going to experience some of these emotional reactions that are beyond what you would term a blessing on a day-to-day basis. So if we will, just patiently acknowledge the fact that we are zinging. And if we will say the name of that pain is, very often it's going to be anger. Anger is kind of like our first emotion. It's our fight or flight mechanism. It's what's to tell us, hey, there's been an injustice here. Hey, there's been an injustice here, perceived or real. Maybe it's just a perceived injustice, you get to the intersection, four-way stop, and you thought you were the first person there, but the other guy goes. Well, he doesn't mean to do you harm or damage, but you could maybe have a little zing of irritation there. Now, one Christian way is just to push that down, deflect it, say, oh, shake it off, be a better person. That is one response, but there's also another response that you could just say, hey, I wonder why that zinged me so much to be cut off at the four-way stop. If we are able to look at it in that terms, even as we drive, we are able to dialogue with the Lord and just ask Him, wonder why my heart is so sensitive to that. To use that as an example, I can give you part of my own story. I was in a family of 5 as I grew up. Almost all of our root cases of our big things are going to come from our childhood experiences, and experience equals reality. So we're going to start to see that come back around and back around and back around. If it irritated us when we were 5, I bet you it irritates us when we're 11, and I bet you it's still really going to irritate us when we get to be 35. So if we are able to look at these little irritations as they pop up, like even cut off at the intersection, as we're driving down the road with airtime, plenty of airtime with Jesus on the way to the shopping mall, we're able to just examine that and say, Lord, why is that bothering me so much? My own story, my own example there was that I was in a family of 5. I had a younger brother and sister that were twins. They were born 1 year after I was, 14 months. So my mom had 3 babies in diapers. Also had a couple older kids that are running around making mud pies, going in and out of the door, getting themselves stuck up in trees and things like that. As mom's trying to chase down the 2 Dennis the Menaces and also keep baby bottles warmed and prepared for the little babies, then here I am stuck in the middle. And very often my needs got short-circuited or circumvented, kind of cut off, kind of somebody came running in with a more immediate need than me. And you could say, oh, geez, that was so long ago. I'm sure you're over that by now. But those are how simple these little teeny emotional reactions start out. And we can see how big they can fruit out in the end. Let's pull a scripture in here. The scripture that there can be no good fruit from bad root. There can be no bad fruit from good root. So everything that was sown into my life as a blessing in childhood will fruit out in my life as a blessing or as a virtue. Let's say work ethic, dedication, loyalty, even creativity or sensitivity, softness of heart. Everything that was not of good fruit in my life, that was sown in a hurtful or unjust way, anything that hurt, anything that felt unfair, will fruit out in my life in a way where that does not bless me. So I'm going to continue from here later on, speaking about bitter roots and where our value got damaged in the first place.